I gotta be honest for a second, for the past couple of days, I've been absolutely clueless as to what to make a video about or what to even talk about, and that's probably because there's nothing particularly interesting to me, at least, in the world of Nintendo to talk about right now. We're currently in what I like to call a Nintendo Drought, and I can already imagine you Nintendo fans in the audience are probably a little bit confused, like, bro, did you not see the last Direct? Yeah, I did, and I'm extremely excited for Breath of the Wild 2, and there's a pretty good chance I'm gonna try out Metroid Dread, and I'm sorry to once again be sucking Sony's, Long John. Come on now, did you actually think I was going to say dick? This is a family-friendly channel after all. But again, in comparison to what Sony's been putting out for the past couple of years, Nintendo just really isn't up to snuff in my opinion. Okay, let's slow it down for a minute. You're probably wondering, what the hell is a Nintendo Drought? Well, let's take it back a few years so you can get a better understanding of what I'm trying to say here. Specifically the year... At this point, Nintendo came out swinging with all their biggest titles coming out all in the span of a year or so, and they were deep into their competition with Sony, with Breath of the Wild not being too far from winning Game of the Year, which sounds amazing, and it was, but if you've been a Nintendo fan for a few years, then what I described to you should be pretty familiar. This is a perfect example of one part in the Nintendo cycle, as I like to call it. And now you're probably wondering, what the hell is the Nintendo cycle? Let me explain. Well, first we have the Nintendo Storm. Essentially means that Nintendo hits us with one or even multiple critically acclaimed titles that take the industry by storm, with the following year having one or even maybe two titles are still good enough to continue the hype train going for at least a little while. Then we experience the Nintendo Drought. The Nintendo Drought is what ultimately gives Nintendo their shaky reputation thanks to the little cousin who you don't want to give your phone to. See, the era of the Wii U is the epitome of the Nintendo cycle. Let me give you some examples to show you what I really mean. The first example to pop up in my mind being Mario Maker 1. To be specific. E3 of 2015, what big titles did Nintendo have to show off that year? Well, they had Mario Maker. No, seriously, that's all they had. Granted, this time period in Nintendo history is kind of an anomaly and is widely regarded as one of Nintendo's worst eras ever, but it's still very indicative of the cycle. Mario Maker broke boundaries in a lot of ways for Nintendo and did big numbers for them, and was ultimately one of the few games that gave the Wii U its validity as a console. And just a year later, we finally get the reveal of the Nintendo Switch, and we see multiple flagship titles being played on the console, but nothing concrete about the future of the console's library of games. And we finally got the first glimpse of the long-awaited Legend of Zelda Wii U, which was revealed like way back in 2014, now aptly named Breath of the Wild, which was slated to release alongside the Nintendo Switch to give us a reason to actually buy the damn thing. But in that initial reveal trailer, what did we see? Mario Kart, Zelda, Splatoon, what we all expected, right? But what was Nintendo's big game for E3 2016?
Hi everyone, Kit here with a recap of Nintendo's booth on day one of E3 2016.
Ayo, what do you think Link's looking at over there? As expected, Breath of the Wild was the only real big showing Nintendo came out with that year, and to be fair, they kind of put all the stops for it, except it wasn't even going to come out for another year, so what did Nintendo fans have to play in the meantime? Well, we had Star Fox Zero, Twilight Princess HD, Miitopia. Just consider the fact that out of everything Nintendo came out with in 2016, Pokemon Go was their biggest game that year. A fucking mobile game, dude. Hence, the Nintendo Drought. Now let's fast forward to 2020. What did we have that year? Animal Crossing, Hyrule Warriors, and Paper Mario. Mind you, all decent games, but clearly just not up to their usual standard. A Nintendo Drought. Now let's go back about a year prior. I know we're doing a lot of time traveling, but stay with me here. 2019, we had Luigi's Mansion, Pokemon Sword and Shield, Fire Emblem, Mario Maker 2, Yoshi's Crafted World, Ring Fit Adventure, Link's Adventure, and Mario plus Sonic at the Olympics, or whatever that game is called. A Nintendo Storm. So then, what did we have in 2021? Well, we got Mario Golf, Metroid Dread, WarioWare, and Mario Party Superstars, which isn't even technically a new Mario Party game, the Pokemon remakes, and Arceus. And mind you, most of the games I just listed aren't even out yet as the recording of this video, so in the end they're just games that we can only hope are good, but look good to me. I for one am actually kind of excited for Pokemon Arceus because it looks like the first Pokemon game in a really long time that's going out of its way to change up the Pokemon formula and make it into a new and interesting thing for the Pokemon community to experience. Fortunately, we are at the very tail end of the drought. The rain is starting to pick up again, and by 2022 we're gonna have a storm, and damn is it going to pour.